If you have a PlayStation 4 and a PC, having one controller compatible with both is great, which might be a big selling point for the Razer Raiju Ultimate. And on the base here you can see it has 3 settings, Bluetooth for PS4 and PC, and USB. But of course make sure your PC has Bluetooth. I'm using the cable because mine doesn't. Here's a look at the shape. I would say it's more like a large Xbox controller. Here it is next to the others. It's not quite right for my hand size. The standard PS4 controller is better for me. That said, it's still quite comfortable, and after playing for 5 minutes, I forget about it and just play. So that's all good. I don't think you can go too wrong with controllers, but I think they could make it more comfortable, especially with the sides. I prefer more curve. These are too flat and angled. Personal preference, of course. Now with fighting games, I actually still like to use the D-pad, and I messed up a few diagonals with the default one. Overall it was okay though, but later I tried the replacement, and you see here I really struggled. Obviously the thumbstick is going to be easier and better. I'm just old school from the time before thumbsticks. But I just want to say that I find it easier to do diagonals on the PS4 default one. Also, I didn't mean to switch character. These triggers underneath are positioned in a way that I can't get a good grip. They will take a bit of getting used to, plus they're huge. Definitely prefer the Wolverine triggers. You can disable them with the software, but I'll get to that later. Accuracy on most of the controls feels pretty good anyway, so for general use it seems good. For material, except for the back middle plate, the whole shell is rubberized, which is a concern for durability but feels decent. For some reason I always describe it as suffocating though. It's just too much, too thick, too grippy. Again, I prefer the Wolverine's materials, at least that had a bit of plastic. This carry case is included, which has a place for the cable and also the replacement parts. The standard thumbsticks are low profile compared to this one. Not sure which I prefer, both seem okay. The resistance feels good, about the same as the PS4 controller, but the buttons are quite different. Very slightly smaller but more raised. They're also clickier. Here's a quick listen. As for latency, I used a human test. This is the PS4 controller first. I want to show you this so you get an idea of how this test goes. It's on a TV and using Bluetooth, so I expected high scores. But watch as I switch to the Raiju. The scores seem sort of okay, but overall they're even higher. And this last one I did, I felt like I reacted fastest. Yet somehow I got the highest latency on it. Trying it with the USB cable plugged in, it seemed about the same as the PS4 controller. So I tried it again in Bluetooth mode, and again I had higher results, even when I felt they should have been low. Maybe someone else can figure out what's going on here, or Razer can shed some light on it, perhaps even give it an update to fix it. But for now, I'm not confident with its signal consistency, which also means I wouldn't be trusting it in competitive play. And who knows, it might even be the difference between you beating or losing against your friends. We just can't take that risk. The weight of the PS4 controller is about 218 grams, while the Raiju is 350. But you're also meant to get up to about 11 hours battery life instead of the usual 8. It's not too big a concern, even for long gaming sessions, as you should be resting your arms anyway, but something to be aware of. The included cable is 3 meters, and a smooth but not too flexible braid, which is good, but despite using a micro USB, it has a special plug. I'm the kind of person that wants to have one charging cable and that's it. This forces me to use this one, which isn't too bad, but if I wanted to use a shorter cable, what then? Or what if I have to replace the cable? I prefer a more general approach. Do I need to mention Razer Chroma? Seems like it probably just wastes battery to me. There is a tournament edition though, maybe check that out. Anyway, there are onboard profiles, so you can save your configurations, including turning the light off. So you just download the mobile app, then you compare it with your controller. You don't get too many options, you can only remap the full custom buttons, but you can also adjust the sensitivity and the rumble motors, and also disable the ones I was accidentally clicking. Still needs some work, I've read some people have had some issues with it, but it's cool they're going in this direction. To conclude, there's a lot to like about this, and if you had the choice between this and the standard PS4 controller, you would probably choose this. But when you factor in the high price tag and the possible input lag in Bluetooth mode, along with the harder to use D-pad and no real advantage in terms of general use, other than the extra buttons, I think most people would choose a standard controller. I don't actually see how this is justified. Asking this much for a controller, you want to make sure it has perfect functionality, and I don't think it does. This is pretty common for Razer products though. They push the industry and I love that they do that, but they're hit and miss. Some of their products will be outstanding, others not so much, and they'll go back to trying to improve them. This is one that I think needs improving. It was sent as a review sample, so big thanks to Razer for that. Obviously, my review is unbiased as always. It's mainly the price that's putting me off recommending this one, and the fact that I actually kind of prefer the standard controller overall. I'll keep playing with it anyway because it is pretty cool. Hopefully we can figure out what was going on with our Bluetooth. My testing isn't exact, but I'm very limited because it is a PS4 controller. And just quickly, people have been asking me about the surfing game. It's called Virtual Surfing. Very early access right now, but I love it already. Amazing wave engine. You can go check it out on Steam. I think it's getting made for PS4 and Xbox at some stage, so keep an eye on it. I'll do a full video on it another time. I'm not sponsored by them in any way. I've just wanted a game like this for over a decade and wanted to give it a shout out. And it's also why I wanted a controller like this, so good timing. Okay, hope that helps. Usual links in the description if you want to help support the channel. And as always, subscribe, like and share this video, and I'll catch you in the next.